My name is Jasim, and thank you for joining in today. I'll be your host for today's webinar. So what's the purpose of today's webinar? We understand leaving your home for studies and coming to a completely new place can be challenging. But if you know more of what to expect, how's your student life going to be, where to find help and support with traveling plans, payments, migrations, accommodation, or any other kind of expectations you might have, a good info and awareness can definitely help to ease that challenge. Whatever the situation be, we are here to support you and throughout your journey, and we would like to offer any assistance that makes your decision making and journey simple and fun. And for this, we have invited guests from Student Union, Admissions and Accommodation, to have an interactive session with them so that they can interact with you and discuss all of these questions which you may have around your student life. Before we get to introduce our guests, I would like to give some practical information. This session is being recorded for the purpose of sharing it with the other admitted students who could not join us today. We want this session to be interactive, so please use the Q&A function to take the opportunity to ask your questions there to our guests or myself. We will answer all of them at the end of this webinar. We have also done a lot of info-related webinars and also program-specific webinars, which are sitting on our YouTube channel, such as accommodation. You can find a webinar on accommodation. You can find webinar on study permit application. You can find webinars on program-specific webinars. Not to miss any stuff, I can recommend that you can subscribe the YouTube channel. So today we have with us Jose, President of Student Union, to talk about all the fun part of being a student here and what can you expect. We also have Corin, an expert for accommodation, to give you a sneak peek of how our accommodation is like, and Charlotte, an expert into any questions you may have around admissions or migration application. I will begin the house. I will open the house with Jose and hand the floor over to him to give an introduction of who he is and give us a little tour of Student Union and what its main functions. Welcome, Jose.
Awesome, appreciate it. I'm gonna share screen for a small presentation that we have. That's okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So hello everyone, my name is Jose and I'm here representing the Jönköping Student Union. One of the main things that you have to know about us is that it is made by students and for students. And our main goal is to try to improve not only the social life for students, but also the educational quality that you will have at JU. So there's many different factors that we work with. But to begin with, once you arrive to JU, you're gonna see that there's a thing called kickoff. Kickoff is the major big event that we have at the beginning of each semester. And depending on which school you're in, depending what color of the overall you'll get. So for example, if you're studying at JTH, you'll get the yellow overall. If you're studying at HLK, which is the communications and teaching, you'll get the either blue or red. If you study at the GIBS, which is the business school, you'll get the green. And if you're studying health, you'll get the white one. Now, JSU, we are purple. And the reason for being purple is that during the kickoff, we're going to be walking around or at every event that you will have. And if you have any questions that we can help you with, you can just search for the purple overalls and be like, hey, I have a question for you. Can you help me out? And that's where we're going to be there for you during the kickoff. Like I mentioned, our purpose is for you to have one of the best times you will at the university. That is our main goal. So everything that we do is for all students at the university, and that is the union. When you go to each university, they have their own student association, and sure, they can help you with several things, but there will be some times that they will send you our way. And that's not because we're going to be able to help you on the spot, but we will be able to give you information as to where to go or who will be able to help you out. Some very common student questions that we receive involve education, work environments, as to like your classrooms, that the outlet for your computers work and stuff like that. Also integration, making sure that everybody feels included in everything that we do. Equal opportunities and harassment. For example, if you are getting treated not right by a student or by a teacher, you can reach out to us, and we're gonna see how to proceed with that. And lastly, accommodation. We don't really work with accommodation in that sense, but we know exactly where to send you in case you have any questions as to, hey, I don't have an accommodation. Who can I contact to get something once I arrive at JU? We have some representation in the university towards like the administration, so we go above and beyond. So any questions that you have towards us, we can bring it up to, let's say, the president of JU, and that's how we raise our voice as students. So honestly, if you have anything that we can help you with, you can just come to us, and then we'll make it happen. If you're an international student and you pay tuition fee, you don't have to pay this obligatory membership fee. It's already included. But if you are not paying tuition fee, then there is a mandatory membership fee of 330 SEK. That might increase to 360 Swedish crowns for next semester. And the way that you can do this is once you arrive in school, there's this building called the student house. And the student house is between the library and JTH, which is the yellow building. And once you enter the building, you go down to the basement, and all the way to the left end, there will be a lady sitting in her office, and then you can pay your membership fee right there. Down there, we also sell coffee and sandwiches, so you can just come in and grab a small, just to have a small break from your studies. And now our offices, they're on the same building and all the way on the top. So if you ever feel like dropping by, if you have any questions that you don't want to reach out to us by email or by calling us, you can always come into the building, come to the second floor. The doors are open, so you can just come in and just search for anybody that is working there. There's different ways that you can reach out to us. So we have a website. In our website, you'll have all the information as to who is working with what. We have like who to contact. All the employees are working at JSU, including myself. There you have our emails, our cell phones. You can also find us on LinkedIn. If you want on Facebook, we are not really using it, so I don't recommend you following us on Facebook since that one is kind of dying. But then, as well as Twitter. But then on Instagram, I definitely recommend you following us on Instagram because that's where we upload most of the events that we will have throughout the year, especially the bigger ones. Now, the best thing about JU is that you will never get bored. There is a lot of things to do every week. Doesn't matter what you like. If you like sports, we have sports going on every day. If you like, let's say, reading, we have a book club. Like you can think about anything, we will have an event for you. And that's the greatest thing about JU is that although it is considered like a small university compared to the big ones, the international life that you will get at JU is one of the best ones out there in Sweden. So I'll definitely recommend you taking advantage of that if you have the opportunity. Yeah, that's a really quick presentation. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, you can let me know.
Yeah, thanks, Jose, for your quick presentation. Could you also tell a bit about your journey? You came here as a student and then you joined student union. So could you share how did that happen? And can everyone who are going to become our students, can they also think of maybe having the same kind of a journey? Is it possible for them? So
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Guatemala. Then I came here to study my master's in strategic entrepreneurship. I finished my first year, and then for the second year, I had the opportunity to join JSA, which is the Student Association at the business school. There I became the president, and it is a great experience for your CV. So at the business school, we have 15 committees and projects that are working throughout the year to make the event happen. And we have three of our biggest ones is Next Step, is the career fair. So they're in charge of the companies that come to school for the business school, and then the students get to go around and search for jobs. And the people that work for Next Step, for example, for that committee, although they don't get paid, it is a great experience for your CV and for connection because you get to talk to external companies as an international student, and then you get to put it in your CV, which looks really good, at least in the Swedish world. Then we have the biggest student fashion show in Scandinavia, which is by Spring Inspiration, and they are in charge as well of finding models, finding people that make the clothes, finding the venue. It's a lot of work. After JSA, when I was done, everybody was super excited. So they told me, Jose, maybe you should apply to be the president of the student union. And I was like, all right. I'll take that opportunity. I applied and I got it. And now here I am as the president of the student union. I will be done June 30th. That's when my mandate ends. They asked me if I wanted to reapply. I say no, thank you. I have to finish my studies because I still have 1 year of my master's left. So I'll be going on exchange next semester to the Netherlands. And that's also okay.
And I understand that you, if you become part of the student union as like a president member or any other member, so you also sit on the board, right?
That's exactly right.
So then you also have this really strong learning, and you have a voice in the overall policy making within the university.
Yep, absolutely. Uh, they like the greatest thing about JU is that they really try to include students' opinions in everything that they do. So that's something that we really appreciate. We know other universities have sometimes struggle to raise their voice. In our case, sure, there are some topics that we cannot bring up all the way to the top, since they're not, I wouldn't say they're not that important, but there's like some things that we can take care of ourselves before bringing it all the way to the top of the JU. But if it's something that might affect all students, then some that's a good topic of discussion at the board, like you mentioned. Absolutely.
Great. So I think, thank you for your quick presentation. We can take questions in the end. I can just remind everyone that we have done the accommodation webinar. So if you are looking for any specific information on how to apply, when to apply, etc., what are the options, all the nitty-gritty details. So please go to that webinar. So let's open the house for Q&A session. And so let's see, we have the first one. When will we know the results of our accommodation selection? So that is for you, Gordon.
Yeah, upon the day you arrive, you will receive the information where you will stay.
Great. Union of Jönköping arrange a pickup service from Copenhagen to Gothenburg or Gothenburg Airport like other unions do.
Is it for me or for the student union? I guess for me.
From our side, no, though.
I think because if you're thinking about coming to Gothenburg University or Chalmers, maybe then it makes sense for that. But since we are in Jönköping, we do have a pickup from the airport or the bus station if we come over to Jönköping. So we do have that through the accommodation.
Yeah, but we will not pick you up at Copenhagen Airport, Gothenburg, or Stockholm. Just in Jönköping.
Yeah, but it's very simple because every city is very well connected. So you can either catch a train or you can also catch bus, and buses are the usual, most often chosen travel option for students.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get here.
How do you apply to be a student for Student Union as a new international student? That's for you, Jose, I think.
Yeah, so all you have to do is once you arrive, you can go to the student building. Like I said, go to the lowest floor, all the way to your left. And then since you already paid tuition, the lady that is working there, she will fix it for you. And you're not gonna get a physical card, but it's more of a digital card. It's through an app called Metanet. So she's gonna make you download Metanet. And then once you download the app, you click on it, you sign in, and then it's gonna show you your card that you're a member from the student union.
From when does someone receive health insurance through JU as an EU citizen? If they want to get health insurance in Sweden, how many weeks do you have to wait, or will you get it right away? Charlotte?
If you're an EU citizen, you should bring your European health insurance card. And then as long as you're going to be here for more than 365 days, you can register yourself in the Swedish population registry and be covered by the Swedish health insurance. But if you're here for less time, it's your European health insurance card.
Thanks, Charlotte. Bukola is asking, I shall be coming to Sweden with family in August. How do I proceed with getting accommodation for family, especially that if I'm yet to have a personal number? So unfortunately, you can try to, approach people through marketplaces or Blockit, but as a university, we do not help with with family accommodation. And you are right that if you do have a personal number, then things become much easier with that. However, I would still recommend that you try to find something through Facebook Marketplace or Blockit and try to see if someone is willing to offer you something. So otherwise, I would strongly suggest maybe you should think about coming by yourself in the beginning and take the opportunity of a guaranteed accommodation through university. And once you are here for maybe a few months and you know more, then you can maybe try to bring your family in if you find accommodation. Could you please let me know if there is any facility provided to learn Swedish language? We do have a language course, right, at the university.
We do have Swedish language, culture, and society. And you can apply for that through our website. If you're from outside the EU, it's not part of your tuition fee. So it's an extra class that you have to pay for in addition to the studies. You'll have a full-time schedule, and then the Swedish language course is an added. They try to do different groups to try to adjust to fit with the scheduling for different programs, but it's still going to be an additional course. So go to our website and check out the Swedish information about the Swedish courses. You can find that at the after admission site on our website.
What is best and fastest way to reach from Stockholm to Jönköping? I think the fastest is the train, but it could be that if you don't want any if you don't want any changes or anything, maybe catching up a bus from the airport would be a smarter choice. That then you might have to, because then you don't have to change. You might be coming directly over to Jönköping through the airport. Please explain more on the JUSC, the sports club at the university that opened up last year. How does it work? And do members of the club get to train in their free time at the university facilities? Jose?
Oh, sorry, I was answering by writing
Yeah, no,
the
no
question that
worries.
What was the
I
question?
can repeat the question actually.
Yeah,
Please
thank
explain
you.
more on the JUSC, the sports club at the university that opened up last year. How does it work, and do members of the club get to train in their free time at the university facilities?
Oh, yeah. So we have two student associations. Two sports associations. One is called JUSC, like you mentioned, and the other one is called USA. USA is more, I'll say, student friendly, as it is. It invites everybody from like different levels, and then there's Campus Arena, which is a building that is in school, and there's where you get to play basketball, volleyball, floorball, badminton, a lot of sports, and that's through USA. USC is another association that focuses more on actually competing in leagues here in Jönköping. For example, football. They have a football club, and yes, if they take you into their team, which I believe there's tryouts, then you get to practice with them outdoors. They don't have a stadium per se for them, but they go around shopping wherever they can find a place to practice, and then they play games in the league of shopping. Yeah.
Great. Which date our classes are going to start, Charlotte?
That depends on the program you're admitted to. So ju.se/new student, and then find your level of study and your program, and it will tell you the roll call date for your specific program.
Thank you. Is it Is it easy to find a job in Jönköping as international student? Well, I can give you a very quick answer on that. It is, I mean, of course, you're allowed to work as a student, keeping your studies as a priority, definitely, of course. But I have seen from my experience that since Jönköping is a very strong logistical hub for Scandinavia, so a lot of actually students end up finding work at DHL or what's the American one? UPS, yeah, UPS. So we have a lot of different logistical houses where you can actually find work, but then we also have restaurants where students can also work. And we also have a career center that can also help with student jobs. So you can also get in touch with them. If I arrive on Sunday, will there be any pickup and check in my accommodation? Well, Karin, can you give the dates for the pickup?
The pickup service will be on August 15 to 18. We will start from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day.
Thanks, Karin. I've heard a few negative reviews about Roslet or Going Connect app. How good is it when compared to other university provided accommodation? Wow, okay.
Yeah. I can answer. I think Roslet is a very good place to stay if you're an international student, because there are a lot of students living there and they have their own student union. And they also have like a common building, which is great. And they have staff there. You can have the free gym, you can play the PlayStation, pool, and I think it's a good place.
Yeah, in fact, I've actually heard the opposite. I've heard that a lot of students have said that this is one of the best student accommodations. They would want to live in Jönköping. So every student have their own, of course, experiences. But I've heard a lot of positive reviews about Roslet actually.
Usually students like to stay there since it's like an international environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I arrived before the pickup service. Can I get my accommodation at that moment? And is it possible to go there then?
No,
Laura
it
is
will start
asking.
on the 15th.
So
if you
sorry,
arrive
Laura.
early, you have to book a hostel or hotel.
Yeah, sorry, Laura, you need to come on 15th. If you come before 15, then you might have to think about staying with a friend or book some accommodation through a student hostel or through Airbnb. I would suggest maybe.
Yeah.
Will there be any problem in the immigration if we come through Copenhagen? I mean, will the officer question us why did we choose Copenhagen if anything goes wrong in the immigration? No, I can tell you from my experience. When I was a student, I also came to this country as a student. So I landed in Copenhagen, and it was absolutely fine. No one asked me anything, so I just showed them my papers that I'm a student and I'm going over to Sweden for my studies, and I have a train to catch from the airport. Everything was fine. So please give an honest and answer and show everything what you have. It should not be a problem.
And you're still here, Jasim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still here.
I'd like to add that unlike countries like America, Great Britain, Australia, it's not at the immigration, it's not at the border that the immigration throws you out. Because in this case, if you're coming from outside the EU, you have either you're exempt from an entry visa, or you have been issued a Schengen visa, which means that you're allowed to visit the Schengen EU area for up to 90 days. And then you have a study permit for Sweden. So no, it's not at the border. That's not an issue.
Great, thanks very much. Is that allowed to keep pets in the accommodation quickly, Karin?
No, it's not.
No.
They have to stay at home.
Health insurance for non-EU international students. Charlotte, sorry.
Non-EU students who pay tuition fee, the emergency health insurance is included. But again, it's an emergency. So if you're here for more than 365 days, you should register with the Swedish Population Registry, get a Swedish personal ID number, and then you'll be part of the Swedish health insurance coverage. If you're here for less time, so basically any pathway program or any 1-year master program except engineering management, then you can you should, if you have a pre-existing condition, for example, severe allergies or asthma or things like that, you should get a separate health insurance for that to make sure that you don't incur high amount of bills because it can be if you have, you have to a pre-existing condition that requires you to go to regular checkups. The emergency health insurance is for emergencies, not for general checkups.
Could you also tell, I mean, students do not have to buy anything because it's already included in the admissions letter, right? Before they arrive.
Yeah, the emergency health insurance is included in the tuition fee.
And that is what the Migration Authority is looking for, nothing else, right?
No, it's to make sure that if anything happens accidentally, that you're covered to be taken care of. If you have to go to hospital with an ambulance or things like that, yeah, you're covered.
Do we have any payment for accommodation prior to arrival?
You pay the application fee, 850 Swedish crowns to apply for accommodation, and then you pay when you arrive for the rent.
For the rent, exactly.
Yes.
And that you don't pay to your office, they get a bill,
Yes.
an invoice, which they pay later on, right?
Yeah, at some accommodations you pay within a few days, and at other accommodations you pay in like a few weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it depends.
When will you know? We have already answered this. Unfortunately, you will only get to know about your accommodation the day you come in. I've heard that there is something like a state municipality department that if I can get from Jönköping city or apply, can you elaborate something on that if you know, of course? State/municipality department that I can get from Jönköping city or apply. Okay. I think you're trying to say that if you can get your private accommodation, I think you can do that. But again, that's your risk. We unfortunately cannot help you with that. And so, of course, then, which means we cannot even guarantee you what will happen through that option. So the best option is that you stay with us and get the guarantee through Jönköping University.
Then you will also have like the support from us if something happens. Yeah.
Will JU help student with student study permit process? I've applied the permit in the end of April, but I received an interview appointment on July 9th. And I'm afraid that my permit would not be valid before my course start.
The university can't affect the processing times at the migration agency. If you have an interview appointment on July 9th,
it should be fine.
It's still possible to get and arrive on time. There's also in your letter of acceptance, it also clearly states that if you should have problems arriving for the roll call, contact the admissions office. The email is right there in your letter of acceptance. And then we can tell you about the possibility of late arrival. But just give it time. Right now, this is when the migration agency will have the most to do. And some countries, there's a higher number of students who need to visit the embassy than other countries. And yeah, so you could get appointments in July, even later in July as well. So
Someone is asking, I'm interested in taking out a student loan through CSN. Do you cooperate with CSN? Specifically, I'm wondering if I'm eligible for the same assistance as an EU citizen.
You're going to have to contact CSN because that is the state loan for Swedish citizens and residents. So you need to check with them. There's a possibility, but you have to prove that you have a connection in Sweden for that. But csn.se and then check the information there. It's not something that we can help you with.
I'm a European. Is there any documentation that I need to for the health insurance? What about for work? Is there some kind of social security number?
Well, for health insurance, again, if you're an EU citizen, it's the European health insurance card. Now, sometimes you can be an EU citizen and never have lived in an EU country because you might live in the States or South America somewhere. In that case, you need to arrange for at least 1 year health insurance, comprehensive health insurance. And then if you're here for more than 365 days, you register with the Swedish Population Registry and you're covered by the Swedish health insurance. And yes, you have the Swedish ID number. That is our social security number.
Is it possible to change from accommodation later on?
No, it's not possible. We will provide accommodation once, and if you decide to move out, then you have to arrange it by yourself.
Is it possible to drop off a bike or luggage in one of the student accommodations even before the pickup weekend?
No.
Okay.
We don't have the possibility to store before you come.
Yeah. When is the latest when I can apply for the Swedish language course?
The dates are written on the application website, and it will close on a certain date. But check the website for that.
I think just Jose, you are leaving for another meeting, right?
Yeah, I have to go to another call. Sorry about
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
But I hope I'm looking everybody here next year. If you go to JU, you made the right choice.
Great.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Jose. Thanks for joining in
course.
today. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
So, how do we get an insurance card if we paid a tuition fee? Does the admissions letter work as an insurance card?
In Sweden, we don't really use insurance cards. It's only the European health insurance card that is an actual card. In the letter of acceptance, it's stated that you're covered by an insurance.
Yeah.
So that's your proof of insurance for the Swedish Migration Agency. If something were to happen, and then you can read about this at the ju.se/insurance. If something happens, you fill out a claims form, and then you visit our service center on campus, and they will confirm that you are an active student and covered by the insurance. So that's how that works. It's you won't get a card.
Nias is asking, is there any other platform where we can connect with current and prospective students? The Goin app has very few JU students. I would say, Nias, I think more and more will keep on joining Goin Connect. So please be patient, and I think more and more are going to join, and that is the only platform where you can actually connect with the other students. If we want to have a bank account while we are living in Sweden, when should we create it and how do we do it?
Well, you have to visit one of the banks to open an account. There are some online banks that allow you to open an account as well. But basically, if you can get if you're here for more than 365 days and can get a Swedish personal ID number, that will facilitate opening a bank account. If you're here for less time, you could still apply for a coordination number to open an account. That also helps a bit. There are some banks that will still let you open an account without a Swedish personal number or coordination number. But that's up to the banks. And then we always have to remember that the banks make their own decisions, but we can tell you what banks are here. So for that, you can visit our service center on campus when you get here, and then get started with that.
How intense is the schedule for bachelor's programs? Well, it depends on the professors and the, I mean, I would say it could be intense, it could be, I mean, some weeks could be easy, some weeks could be intense, so it depends.
It depends on the program. If it's a business administration program, you might have a lot of group work instead outside of lectures. Then you have other programs that maybe have more labs where you have to create stuff in the lab and stuff like that. So yeah, it's different. It's different between semesters as well. So the first semester might be really easy or really hard, and then the next semester is the opposite. So you never know.
I have a Swedish personal number, but I haven't lived here for the past 5 years. Is there any way I can apply for accommodation with the international students instead of Studbo?
Yeah, since you have a Swedish personal number, you're not guaranteed accommodation. You can be on the waiting list, but try to find something on your own first. Since you have the personal number, it's easier for you.
Okay.
Just to say that the personal number, even if you haven't lived here for 5 years, that number is yours, will never be someone else's. So that means that when you return to Sweden, you have to visit the tax office to reactivate the account to make sure that you're registered in the population registry again.
How are we receiving our semester schedule?
Jönköping.se/new student.
Exactly. Please repeat the Swedish language details. If I'm doing another bachelor's degree, can I study it in my free time? And please explain it again in full.
The detail is that it's an additional class. So you're doing full-time studies, but then if you're doing the Swedish language course as well, you're adding more to your study load. So sometimes it works with the schedule and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of students try to study the Swedish course their first semester and discover that it doesn't work. We do offer the same. There are two courses, number 1 and number 2, and you have to take number 1 in order to do number 2, but they're offered each semester. So in the spring semester, it will be offered again. So again, go check out the information about the Swedish language courses on the after admission website.
How long is the duration of rental contracts for guaranteed accommodation? Is it possible to end it during the semester?
Yeah, you have the 3 months cancellation time, so you have to cancel it 3 months prior you move out.
I will attend Pathway on July 15, and you will take me from Jönköping. And after that, we need to take our dorm key from Jönköping University. Will we go to university for key before we arrive to Gränna? Yeah, you will find all the help here, so don't worry about it. And I mean, relax and just arrive here, and the service center and the accommodation are going to help you to take you to Gränna and to your accommodation.
Yeah, we will meet you up at the bus and train station.
Yeah. Can I take part in double degree exchange program in foreign university and do an internship at the same time, or do I have to choose only one of these opportunities?
That is a question you're going to have to discuss with a study counselor once you get here.
Yeah. Can you elaborate and describe regarding Studbo Pontesi? How does it work? I couldn't register today as I will be attending university with family. I need accommodation. Thank you.
Yeah, you need the personal number to register an account. So if you don't have it, you have to find housing by yourself.
Nice to meet you. I will attend Leeds starting in August, which is web-based. But if I'm able, sometimes I would like to visit the university. May I do it and attend classes so that course doesn't have any in-presence course? No, it's absolutely 100% web-based. So you don't need to be here for that. And so which means that you will not be able to apply for any residence permit. Can you tell us a bit about the student life in Jönköping? Well, we like Jose mentioned that we do have a lot of we have sports clubs. We have a lot of different kind of clubs for playing chess or quiz sessions. You can even cook together. So there's a lot of fun activities happening between students. There are movie nights. There are I mean, you can do, I mean, you can just name a thing and then you can actually do that. And students during summertime, for example, are playing a lot of volleyball at the beach here in Jönköping. So you can swim together, you can bike together. We have almost everything you can think about. We also have theater in the city. We do have, yeah, I mean, if you are into, playing sports professionally, then we do have really professional centers for doing that as well. So everything what you can think of, imagine of, you can actually find it here in Jönköping. Can I access gym facilities at the university as an international student, or is there any extra fee for that? There is an extra fee for that, and it's quite. I mean, it's quite good in a way because they provide a special discount for students. So you can find the prices to be very payable. So you will, and the gym facility is amazing actually.
Information about the sports, the union, and other parts of the life in Jönköping, go to the after admission on our website, the JU website, and find out about all of that.
Oh, we have an interesting question. I think Jose might be interested in listening to this, but he's not here with us right now. So I'm a pathway student. Which team would I join? I mean, the color of my jumpsuit. So
I guess the pathway students, you don't start with a jumpsuit as a pathway student. You get that when you move into the main campus. Pathway is at Campus Gränna, but you still are a member of the student union, so you can come and join in all of that.
Should we announce our arrival for Pathway Summer?
Yes, the registration of arrival will be open on July 1 to 20, and you will receive an email when it's time to do it.
Where can I find information about academic association, not sports?
I mean, the student union has both sports and academic as part of their association. So check out the student union website.
I can see. So do we have separate registration for pickup? No?
No.
Can we arrive outside of the pickup times, still on the arrival dates, if we arrive by ourselves and don't need the pickup service? Yes.
Yeah, if you arrive after our pickup service, you will come to the service center during opening hours, and you will get the key and sign the rental agreement then. So check the opening hours.
Does the university provide internships for students? In some cases, yes. In some cases, they do help. They do have contacts with some firms, but it's mostly that you also are encouraged to apply and find internships on your own as well. But university also helps. I haven't placed rosters as one of the options. Is there a possibility to change my order?
Yeah, you can change it until May 25th. Just log in and change.
Yeah.
What to do if I get sick and cannot attend lectures or lessons? Who do I contact? That's a very good question. You'll be using a learning platform called Canvas. So that's where you can have contact with your teachers. And then if you then get sick, like really sick, and will be out for a long time, there's more information on the after admission website about health. So visit there.
I also found one. How hard is it to operate outside the university if I only know English? Research says 60% of the people in Sweden know English. Is this true? I would say actually more than 80% of the people in Sweden know how to speak English. My experience is that even old people, which you would not expect, they can also communicate with you in English language, which is quite surprising and quite astonishing actually.
Because also in Sweden, our television, when we watch TV series and movies, they're not dubbed, so that we don't hear another language. We hear English, and then it's subtitled. So that's why a lot of people know how to understand and speak some English as well.
Great. In case if you're not able to travel for this intake because of our student visa gets rejected, can we join for next intake, or will our tuition fee be refunded?
If your residence permit application is rejected, you're eligible for a refund. So check the refund policy at ju.se/fees. We don't allow for deferment because you were rejected by the migration agency, because there's no guarantee that they won't reject you again. You have to read the reason why you were rejected. If it's something easy that can be fixed, like you didn't have enough money this year, then you have enough money next year, well, then you can apply again. But yeah.
Someone is asking, I was trying to book a flight to Jönköping airport. I can just say that, of course, it's not easy to find that. Yeah, the best choice is that if you can land in Gothenburg, which is just 1 hour, 20 minutes away from bus. So that is the best option. Otherwise, you can also land in Copenhagen or Stockholm. These are the big cities where you get a lot of connections. So the best choice is that you try to find these three cities to land in and then come over to Jönköping by bus or by train. Are we going to need to buy textbooks or such? Is there a recommendation for iPad or laptop? Well, we do have labs here where we have all these computers and everything. We also have the services for the computers at the library as well. But however, it is recommended that if you have your own laptop, it would be, it would be easy for you, but it's not mandatory. You will be, yes, you can buy, a lot of books are now online and you can get through our library. And I think in most of the cases, you don't have to buy textbooks any longer. And the library we have provides you a lot of resource, which is available online, which you can read as well. So it's pretty straightforward living and studying in Sweden, actually. So for you, Karin, are girls and boys living together in the apartments?
No, if you live in a dorm with more than like 4 students, then it can be mixed. But if you are only like 4 students or 2 students, then it will be separated, unless you're a couple and you have applied together.
Well, someone is asking, do other universities provide master in digital business as GIFs do? Well, it's we can't really tell you this. I mean, the best way to find that is through university admissions, where you can see which other universities are offering very similar master like we do. Please try to do your search online, and you will be able to find that information. There are many accommodation options. Some are paid monthly, but others are paid every semester. Can I decide which one I rather choose?
Yeah, you can state 3 housing options, and then you can look if you want to pay monthly. Then you can state the option that the rent is paid monthly, but you cannot choose how to pay. It depends on which house you will stay in.
So thank you very much, everyone, for joining in today. Come back with your questions on these email addresses, and I hope to see you at Jönköping University and on the campus. And if you see us, say hi to us, and all the best. Bye bye.